Hey everybody, Adam Ant here. I just wanted to give you a brief introduction to utilizing our launcher. It's fairly generic. You can use it for your own shard. Um, like most launchers, it will handle the download of the client, download of Razor, download of classic UO, the map files, everything. And so you have this profile button here, and it gives you a list of all your profiles. You'll probably have, your user will probably have one or two. I have many configurations for local testing, production testing, things of that nature. This section here, you may want to change or leave it as it is. We used to allow the user to select this is where your map files are. So on a lot of computers, it's program files 86 Ultima Online. So this is the directory that wants to know where to find the map files. We used to allow the editing of the classic UO, so you could point it at whatever client you wanted, whatever version of classic UO you wanted, and the same with Razor. Because we want to control the complete environment, we remove the ability to edit these, and we always point them at wherever you install, the launcher. So if you put it in, program files 86 Angel Island, everything will appear underneath that directory, including Razor, Classic UO, and then all of the map files. Okay, so you have options there. You can point these at your own, or you can have a fixed setup. You may want a fixed setup because it minimizes configuration complaints that you'll get on the message boards, right? They'll be pointing at, some other shard's map files, and they won't match what's on the server. So you'll end up bumping into things or getting stuck. So you really want your map files on the server to match what they're pointing at locally on the client computer. And then, like we spoke about in the previous video, we have our own version of Classic UO and Razor CE. So we wanted players to use ours. If you don't have such constraints, then you can allow the player to point at whatever client they want. Okay, so that's pretty much it. You'll want to change the server address to yours, and that's pretty much it. We've got a couple of buttons over here for the wiki and patch notes and news. I'm not sure we ever really made much use of those. This would go to our Discord, and then these graphics and text here, you'll replace all that with your own. And then the launcher code is pretty straightforward. The top of the program class has all of the URLs for the downloadable components. So for instance, the Ultima Online directory, that's where we get the map files, right? So here we're pointing at, GameMaster.net resources, AI Golden Client.zip. That's all the map files, so we'll download them here. CUO, Classic UO download is our own Classic UO.zip file. And as you can see up here, we used to, when we first launched, before we had our own proprietary Classic UO, we would just pull it from the Classic UO deployment branch. Similarly, we would do that with Razor. So as you can see, it's pretty easy just to repoint these URLs to get the files from wherever you want. Our launcher also supports the notion of a diff. So for instance, recently I replaced the music files in the in what we would call, the UO folder. We also made some minor map edits. You don't need to re-download the entire UO folder again, which would be this guy up here, the big one, goldenclient.zip, but rather you can just drop a diff zip, which is just the delta, just 2 or 3 files, 6 files, and then the launcher will handle patching the client side and make sure that they're up to date. Okay, and then some obvious things here: port address, the name of the server, and then the subdirectories under Game Master Resources, where we get Classic UO and Razor. Actually, these will actually be where they're installed, not where we get them. Where we get them is here. When we install them on the client computer, this will be the subdirectories where they're installed. And then there are a couple of text files, launcher version.txt. If you bump that version number that's in that text file, say from, what are we now? We are currently at 2.0.12. If you bump that number here, the launcher knows that it needs to be updated. Okay. And then similarly, we have this package versions. It's just a text file again that talks about the versions of Classic UO, Razor, and will update those if the number is increased, right? So if you bump the number up in this text file here, the launcher will know to go fetch new Classic UO or Razor, and then the package versions tells us to get a new launcher itself. And that's really the interesting bits. Those are the things that you're going to want to change. My server, my private server, GameMaster.net, is still up. You're welcome to use it for as long as it's up, but I make no guarantees how long it will be around. And you may or may not want you probably don't want the files that are up there, because they might have text and graphics that talk about Angel Island or Siege, but you could certainly use it for testing and getting your launcher up and running. Appstate.json, that's really where all the configurations are stored. So all of these are a record in the JSON file. And let me see. That's really it. The launcher, if we ever need to update the launcher again, it's just in the on GameMaster.net resources, Angel Island launcher.zip, and all of these zip files, the launcher just downloads them and unpacks them in the appropriate place, and that's it. And your clients will stay up to date. Okay, so that's really it. Not a whole lot to do here. You'll just want to redirect these things to point at your own assets, and you'll be good to go. All right, short one today. Bye.